I understand the title of this video seems absurd. I understand that when Thon Maker says, and I quote, "I'm going to be an all-star, I'm going to be a champion, not just one time, multiple times. I'm going to be an MVP. I'm going to be Defensive Player of the Year, not just one time, multiple times." So again, I understand that you probably do not believe Thon Maker. You don't think he's going to be an MVP. You don't think he's going to be a key part of a championship team. You probably don't even think he's telling the truth about his age. But maybe after watching this video, you'll change your mind. I know that after researching this video, I definitely changed my mind. So how are you guys doing? My name is Mike, and before we get started, I want to say two things. One, I know the correct pronunciation of Thon Maker's last name is actually Thon Maker, but he himself has said he's cool with Maker, and everyone calls him Thon Maker, so we're gonna stick with that. And two, I'm just gonna address the whole age thing right now. If Thon is really 20 like he says he is, that's awesome. If he's actually a few years older, well, we've still seen guys like Jimmy Butler thrive at a later age. So no matter what his age, I think we can all agree that Thon Maker has a ton of potential. And when you see this man's work ethic, this man's drive, I think you'll start to see that he does have a chance to reach his goals. So let's listen to why Thon Maker believes that one day he's going to be the MVP of the NBA. As a toddler living in his home country of Sudan, Thon Maker and his family were forced to flee due to the extremely dangerous and violent civil war that was taking place around them. They were taken in as refugees in Australia, the country where Thon would spend his formative years. And at first, life in his new country was hard for Thon. Australia seemed like a different world to him, and at times, he was certainly seen as an outsider. But luckily, sports would quickly give Thon a feeling that he belonged in this new world. His first love was soccer, but that would change when he shot up to stand at 6'7" at just 13 years old. It was then that he was discovered by a talent scout and social worker, Edward Smith. Smith had come to scout other players, but when he saw Thon, he quickly forgot about everyone else on the court. And at the time, many were surprised with Smith's interest in Thon because, to put it simply, Thon was terrible. Even Smith says that when he first saw Thon, he was one of the worst players in the gym. But as the games went on, Smith watched as Thon went 100% on both ends of the court at all times. As Smith put it, when you're playing pickup ball and a guy's taking it so serious as if it's life or death, then you know you got a winner. And so Edward Smith wanted Thon to join his basketball academy in Sydney, Australia. But still, moving 2,000 miles to live in Sydney was a big move. To Thon though, it was worth it because he knew it was going to pay off in the end. He knew this because he also knew he was going to work harder than everyone around him. Thinking back to his original move to Australia, Thon has said, "I knew how important it was, and I knew I couldn't fail those people." The people he refers to are his family, the people he plays for. And so, leaving his family, Thon began a basketball journey that would take him to Louisiana, Virginia, and finally, as a post-grad in high school, to Canada. Along the way, he began to develop skills that would become huge for his future in the NBA. Not only could the tall kid from Sudan rebound and block shots, he could also cross his opponents over and shoot it from deep. As Thon has put it, "I wanted to be a guard. I wanted to be 6'8" and stay there." But as we all know, unfortunately for Thon, he's grown to be 7'1". And normally when we have a story like this, when we have a guard suddenly grow into a big man's body, we usually have NBA teams drooling at that prospect's potential. In recent years, we've seen that happen with Anthony Davis. We've seen it happen with Gordon Hayward. But when the Bucks drafted Thon Maker with the 10th pick in the 2016 draft, a lot of teams laughed. Milwaukee, though, they knew what they were doing. According to a study by Draft Express that looked at every draft from 1998 to 2012, 2/3 of the players taken between 10 and 19 become backups or even worse. So in the 2016 draft, a draft we can all agree so far looks like it's going to be one of the weaker drafts in NBA history, the Milwaukee Bucks took a chance. They took this chance because of the potential they saw in Thon Maker to become a star. And as Bucks GM John Hammond put it, we look at the risk as being more minimal only because we believe in the person. So with the 10th pick, not only were the Bucks getting a 7'1" athlete who could defend the rim and shoot the three, they were also getting probably the hardest worker in the draft, as well as the man they thought had the most confidence to become a star. Now, let's just put this out in the open. Thon Maker did not exactly light the world on fire in his rookie season. I mean, the man averaged just 4 points and 2 rebounds a game. But in a world where we value stats above everything else, I'm going to ask you to forget about Thon's numbers for a second, because Thon Maker is a work in progress. The Bucks didn't draft him with the expectation that he would dominate from the second he stepped on an NBA court. Instead, Milwaukee saw him as the second coming of Giannis Antetokounmpo. Remember, as a rookie just 4 years ago, Giannis averaged just 6.8 points per game, shot 41% from the floor, and just seemed overwhelmed on an NBA court. Fast forward to this season, where Giannis averaged about 23 points, 9 rebounds, and 5.5 assists, and you can start to see the Bucks plan for Thon. Now again, when the Bucks drafted Thon, they saw a work in progress. But as we've already seen from Thon's early life, we know that he's willing to put in the work to become a star. So in order for Milwaukee to make him a star, they first had to work to mold Thon's body to that of an NBA big man. The reason for this was that Thon began the year standing at 7'1", but was just 205 pounds. So the Bucks have had him eating 7,000 calories a day to put on mass. The dedication to this type of overeating is certainly a challenge, especially when you consider a normal male averages around 2,000 to 3,000 calories consumed a day. But day in and day out, Thon Maker shoves as much food as he can into his system because he's willing to do anything to become a star. We see this also in his daily routine, a routine built by a man who is serious about his NBA goals. Thon wants to be the MVP of the league, and he's willing to work for it. During the season, a normal day for him starts at 8 a.m. and consists of a 30-minute weight room session, then 1 hour of individual workouts, then a slight 30-minute rest before Thon begins a 2 to 3 hour practice with the rest of the Bucks. Then after practice, Thon typically spends around 30 minutes going one-on-one against teammates such as Giannis, and after a mid-afternoon nap, he would return to the Bucks training facility to get in more one-on-one work and to finish the night with shooting drills. Now, this type of dedication is certainly impressive, but to put Thon's incredible workout into perspective even more, during the season, it got to the point where Jason Kidd had to ban Thon from returning to the court after practice because Milwaukee team executives were afraid that Thon was going to burn himself out. And so let's return to the mindset of Edward Smith, the man who discovered Thon Maker and first gave him a chance. Smith bet on Thon because Thon worked harder than everyone around him. He bet on Thon because he saw a man who was willing to kill himself to become the greatest. That's the type of player I want to bet on too. The type of player who works so hard that he's already shown a dramatic increase in talent this year alone. To begin the 2017 season, Thon played in just 14 of the Bucks' 36 games and averaged just 4 minutes in those games. But after the All-Star break, after hundreds of hours of hard work, Thon started in every single game the Bucks played and began to showcase his true potential. This potential is something we've all taken for granted because we're not close enough to the situation. But when you hear Thon's teammates talk about him, we begin to see that maybe, just maybe, Thon Maker really is a superstar in the making. First, we'll start with Giannis, who has said of Thon, "I see some similarities, but with one huge difference. He's a lot better player than me at the same stage." Next, let's listen to longtime NBA vet and champion Jason Terry, who said, "When I look at Mr. Maker, the first impression you get is, this kid resembles Kevin Garnett a little bit just in his stature and build. And then you watch him play and you're like, whoa." And finally, let's listen as Jabari Parker says, "Thon Maker's gonna be the best 7-foot player in this league. He's going to. He's that good." The entire Milwaukee Bucks roster sees Thon for what he could be. A 7'1" center who is ultra talented, an athletic freak, and has the ability to shoot from distance. In the modern NBA, where the modern big man is forced to defend the basket, switch onto wings and guards, and spread the floor, Thon certainly has the potential to put everything together to become a legitimate star. And again, I will admit that right now, that's all Thon Maker really is. A big man with a lot lot of potential. But again, I'm willing to bet on the guy who works so hard that his team has to ban him from the gym. I'm willing to bet on a man who has so much confidence in himself that he already believes he will one day be the MVP. And I'm willing to bet on a man who already has the ultimate respect of his teammates. Because despite the fact that he was just a rookie this season, Thon's teammates have already nicknamed him the Sheriff because of his vocal presence on the court, his attention to details, and his need to hold everyone accountable for their actions. Milwaukee's veterans respect Thon so much that they already gave him the responsibility to enforce team rules and fines. And even when he spent the first part of the season on the bench, Thon was always in his teammates' ears pointing out mistakes, and nobody minded because, as Jason Terry put it, he's 100% right. So with all that said, guys, I just want to make it clear that I am not saying Thon Maker is going to be the MVP of the NBA one day. That's what he's saying. With that said though, I just think it's very interesting that he is that confident in himself. And when you combine that confidence with his incredible work ethic, well, I think we've seen from guys like Kawhi Leonard and Jimmy Butler that the potential for rapid growth is there. Also, I think we can all agree that if Giannis gets another superstar on his team, the Bucks are going to be very, very scary. So that's what I'm rooting for. I just want more talent in the NBA right now. And with that said, thank you for watching this video. If you're new to this channel, I hope you subscribe. I do videos on NBA stories like this. I look at NBA conspiracies. I do NBA what ifs. Basically, if you're a fan of basketball, I can guarantee you will love this channel. And to everyone who's already subscribed, thank you guys so much for supporting. Been getting some crazy opportunities lately because of you guys. I don't take you for granted. I know that it's because of you that I'm here. So again, thank you. And as always, have an awesome day, guys, and cue that music.